And he said, United are here watching you. Les Kershaw over there, he was a chief scout. And he just said, the manager wants to sign you, Alex Ferguson. When I joined there, United had just won the double and just won the league. And me walking into that dressing room, everybody in there were absolute superstars. And for the first 6 months, I never said a word. Leaving United, I thought my fucking world had ended. And I just drank myself to a fucking... honest. When I spoke to Dino about it and he said that he's at stage, just coming into stage 2, early stage 2, I thought to myself, fuck, where am I then? I don't want to have that scan. There's 55,000 ex-players. So if you do 55,000 players, 30% of them are likely to get CTE, and the PFA are doing nothing about it. It's disgusting.
David May, welcome to the Greatness on Demand podcast, mate.
Pleasure.
How you
Thanks
doing?
for having us. I'm good, yeah.
Good man, good man.
Good to
Again,
see Dino, yeah.
Yeah, he's rolling. He's doing all right,
I'm actually no.
He's doing all right. He's doing all right.
I'm in awe of him.
You're in awe. Well, we'll get into the reason why you're in awe. I mean, we could. You've won fucking.
Sorry about that.
You've won. What have you done the treble in? You've done the treble in. The treble in what?
Treble chins.
Treble chins. Yeah, he's done the treble chins.
I've lost a bit.
And we know why you've done the treble, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, excited to have you on, buddy. Like we said, we've talked off camera. We might have had a few beers off camera. Don't tell Ruth. But no, in all seriousness, mate, it's really exciting to have you here. Good.
Pleasure.
Excited to get into your story and
Pleasure, mate.
a little bit more about yourself. So look, before we start, we ask everyone the same question on this podcast: is how would you define greatness? What do you think are the key characteristic traits that make somebody great?
Oh, fucking hell, that's a question.
You didn't realise it was going to be that intelligent on there, did you?
No. What defines greatness? As a sports person?
Yeah.
Or,
well, whatever you do in your life.
I would say somebody who everyone else looks up to and respects. I look at my dad, and my dad to me is greatness because he's taught me everything I've ever needed. Sports people that are humble and not, who are good at the job, who are brilliant at the job, but don't gloat about it. It's all about me. And want to always just be the best. And you I think sometimes you're not always going to be the best, but as long as you give 100%.
You growing up as a kid, is that all you wanted to be as a footballer?
Yeah. From my two older brothers, playing in the garden, playing in the backyard. Don't know a garden, it was a backyard.
Yeah.
My eldest brother, he's 5 years older than me, and the middle one's 2.
And what did they do for a living?
One was a mechanic, one was a mechanic when he was playing. And the other was a printer. But both very good football. My dad had trials at Sheffield United. Yeah. But his dad, my granddad, couldn't get him to the training, so my dad did 30 years.
So it was obviously it was in the family genes then.
Yeah. And my dad missed one game, and that's the game when my granddad had died. So
wow. you mentioned your dad very early at the start of this podcast. So I like to always understand from the person sat in front of us today, they always have some kind of influential figure in their life. Were your dad that influential figure
absolutely,
to you?
100%.
Why is that?
Discipline. It wasn't tough on us in a way of, he'd give us a crack or anything. I mean, he would do if he'd done something wrong, but he'd always tell you the rights from wrongs from a very early age. And I think I've done that with my kids now. My lad's 24, daughter's 21. And I've always said to them, whatever in life, just have, just be polite and have manners.
Yeah, please and thank you. It doesn't cost now, does it?
Don't cost anything. Today's society, I look at people and they just don't give a toss. Where does that come from? Probably your parents.
Yeah.
So I look at my dad, who was massive influence.
Because when we were kids, we didn't have the academies, did we?
No, we had nothing.
We had no. So we just played Saturday League, Sunday League football.
Dino, I used to train at Blackburn as a 13-year-old in Salford under the streetlights. That was it.
Right.
So, if you went another 30 yards to the right hand side, you'd be in total darkness. So we had to train under the street lights.
Right.
That was it. A little near Agecroft.
And was that your team, Blackburn, as a kid?
I used to go watching City as a kid. I used to go watching Oldham.
Yeah.
I still go watching Oldham every now and again when I can.
Yeah.
Bury, Rochdale, just any.
Just a Manchester club.
Yeah.
Like.
The only team I really didn't go watch was United.
Really?
Yeah, because there's a family who used to live up the road from us. They used to go City week in, week out. So I used to say, is it alright for goers? So
Going back to your dad, like my dad never ever told me I had a good game. He always told me when I was crap. I always said, like, you fucking bottle that tackle, or you'll bottle that tackle again, and I'll give you a good outing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was the little one of the group as a kid. I was a late developer, but he never ever told me ever that I was good.
I guess, is that to make you tick though?
I don't know.
To get in a position to
I don't know
wanna
if he
do
was just
better?
a fucking twat or not. I don't know, but he was just. But I respected him so much now, growing up as a kid, being a professional footballer. Even though if I'd scored goals or he'd always say, how did you do today? And I because I'd be honest with myself.
Yeah.
Would your dad be like that?
100%. 100%. Get in the car.
Debt talk.
Well, the majority of games, probably 95%, 98% of the games, we'd win because I was always in a decent team.
Yeah.
But he would always pull me on things that I did wrong.
Right.
Why did you do that? And he taught me through it.
Did you feel like you had to prove a point to your dad?
No, I just wanted to be a better player.
For what at that stage? Because obviously we're getting to, we know, look, Champions League winner, treble winner, etc. But to that stage now where you are now, get better against what? Are you challenging only yourself?
Challenging myself, people you're playing against. I just hate losing.
With no real, did you have no
absolutely.
real big vision of wanting to, go? Obviously we know where you've gone to attain. What was like the motivation though behind it?
I just love football. That's it. I just love kicking a ball. And
Was you always a centre half?
midfielder.
She was always good on the ball, wasn't
Yeah. Just love playing football.
Yeah,
I still love it. I miss it now.
Yeah.
But because of your legs and your back and your everything that's coming into the game now, heading a ball and all that bollocks.
Yeah.
But I love it. I still love the buzz going to a game, and just that roar just before kick-off. It still gets me. Still gets me. And that'll never ever leave us.
Did you feel like that were your stage at the time?
As a kid, I always thought as a kid, that's what I want. I go to games and get that buzz. And I hated losing. Can't stand it. I fucking hate losing.
Even today?
Even today. Yeah.
Oh, we'll play golf and he fucking wins all the time. You know what I mean?
It's
So
like
like-
against
No,
you.
but I don't have a dodgy handicap.
Yeah,
I
like-
play a €4
I know,
Yeah,
I-
mate, he talks a big fucking game
Yeah.
at golf.
I'm shit at golf, but you're good.
He only ever seems to play well when he's like
We
money
played
on
at the
it.
JC. We played at the JCB, right? He got me an invite to the JCB, which is an unbelievable golf course.
Yeah.
And I'm not good enough to play at the JCB, but me and Matt Crosby went. And every time I play golf with him, and he's on about losing and winning, I don't care because I just go for a bit of banter and a few beers afterwards.
Yeah,
and
your
that.
pitch and putt.
Yeah, I'm a 13.6 handicapper. He's a fucking 4 handicapper, by the way.
Yeah.
And he can tell by the passion after the fucking golf, but he always seems to win, and it pisses me off.
So he's not invited to Mercia this year, is he?
No, he's not coming to Spain, no.
No.
Oh, there's a trip to Mercia.
There's a trip to Mercia, we'll talk about that afterwards. My business trip. Look, you played at football at the highest level, Champions League winner, won all these great medals, but who's David May at the core as of today?
What I do now?
Yeah, well, look, we can get all into the story of what built you up today, but I'm really keen and interested because, like, from everything that we'll go into in a moment, from the build-up of today, but for people who may not know, who is David May?
A lad who grew up North Manchester. Didn't have a lot going for us. 2 brothers. Dad was a policeman. Mum stayed at home. And I wanted to do well for my family, and I still do now. I'm a very, very, so much I've split up from my ex-wife, I still got an unbelievable relationship with her because of the kids, and I'd never, and I hate what I did, but
Ditto.
we're still, great friends.
Good man. Yeah.
And because of the kids,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. And so, fast forwarding, going into, what would you say before you got the breakthrough with? It's obviously a different game, like you said, with academies. What made you stand out? What gave you the breakthrough at the time to get that person to see you and say he's got something special?
I think you can always judge people. I judge players when they're losing, and I hate losing, as I say. And I think you can judge somebody a lot better when they're losing games.
When it's going against you.
When the shit hits a fan and you think, right, let's have a look at what
I want the ball.
What they're made of. Yeah, not shying away.
Yeah.
Just don't be afraid to make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, but just that drive, that passion to play football like that. I love the game, and I loved the game, and I still love the game. It's
when you signed pro for Blackburn, was that your first pro contract?
Yeah, 16. Yeah,
16-year-old.
Oh, sorry, 18. Yeah,
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you did YTSs, did you?
YTS, 20
So
pounds.
playing the boats, £26.50.
27.30.
£26.50, man.
Years old.
You got undercut.
I'm 2 years older than you, yeah. £26.50 and 35 second year.
Yeah.
I got released at 18, but when you got a pro contract, what was your ambition after that first year pro, second year,
First year
whatever?
pro. So I saw I was in 2 years in digs over in Blackburn.
Yeah.
Which I loved, and I go back to the homely thing. I was in one digs that I hated. The people who were looking after us were just there for the money. They were on £40 a week per player.
Right. Okay.
Me, Lenny John Rose, God bless him, Keith Hill,
Wow.
and a lad Alex Binney. We were in
Wow.
one room, bunk beds and 2 singles.
Yeah.
And all they were ever interested in getting £140 every
Yeah.
week. The check.
Didn't feed you, didn't you?
The fed
they
us,
did,
but it
but
was
not
just
the
just
shit
crap
food.
food.
Shit food. Yeah.
Putting chips and gravy
Yeah.
every other night.
Yeah.
So I moved around the corner, and she was the nurse. She was class. She was brilliant, Jennifer. She gave you the proper meals that you needed, and then obviously you do your chores, cleaning the baths, cleaning the toilets.
Yeah.
Jimmy Quinn had just come back from the World Cup in '86, Mexico.
Big centre forward.
I was his apprentice.
Yeah.
And I always remember him giving us a pair of boots. I was a size 9 at the time. Don't know why my feet have shrunk.
Yeah.
He was a size 8. And he gave me his boots. He said, break them in, son.
Been there, yeah.
And that was it. And he just threw the boots at me, break them in.
Yeah. And you had to put them on, didn't you?
Put them on. And he's talking like that. The ground's pre-season training.
Yeah.
Absolutely rock hard.
Rock hard, yeah.
Blistered up to... And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, is that it?
Yeah.
Come to Christmas. Quinny, any chance of a Christmas tip? About £6.50 in change. I thought,
Really?
great.
Wow.
But I loved it. I just loved that, being an apprentice, training with your mates day in, day out. And then you get the call off the gaffer, Don Mackay at the time, he was the manager. At the time, one of my pros, Chris Price, who played for obviously Blackburn and Villa, he said, I spoke to the gaffer, you're going to be all right.
Wow.
And that was it. I thought,
Nice.
You say I got released at 18 by Brian Norton.
Mm.
So I'm going to try getting Brian on my podcast, and
Find out why.
I knew why. I was a late developer. Technically, football intelligence good, no physicality.
Yeah.
And he said, but he's released 1,000 people.
Of course,
But what inspired me about him, Dave, was he got released by Arthur Cox. So he'd been there.
Yeah.
And he said it's the hardest decision that he's ever had to make. And I was the boatman.
Yeah.
I used to clean Billy Whitehurst, Pete Skipper, Billy Askew, Stan McHugh and all these boots. I was the one that had to wear their boots to break them in.
Yeah.
But you know what, Maisie? I thought it was the best 2 years of my life, and that stood me in good stead all my life. That 2 years
It's a brilliant grounding.
2 years of bullying, by the way. 2 years of bullying.
Billy White.
Brutal. But you know, I look back and they didn't hurt you.
No.
It was just a lesson.
Yeah. And it shapes who you are as a character, doesn't it? In regards to the player.
But how amazing is it's that obviously me and Maisie are 2 years apart, but it's the same grounding of what we was when we were kids.
Yeah.
And then you go on to be successful.
Of course you do.
And the reason why you're successful is because of them shit days.
All right, yeah.
So what was the breakthrough moment for you when you actually realised you probably had something a little bit more than the rest of the players that were around you?
Not big-headed, but probably ability.
And what position were you playing at this time?
I was centre half.
Okay.
I was always decent on the ball, pass the ball, read the game well.
You were quick, weren't you? I thought you were quick. You weren't slow. I was fucking slow, but
I weren't lightning quick.
But you read it and then you.
But the first 2-3 yards.
2 or 3 yards, you were quick.
Are in your head.
Yeah. But you weren't slow though over the tracks.
No.
Clever player.
I always thought I always read the game well.
Well, my ex-teammate David Mayle used to say that he used to bail you out.
Mayle. Where would you play with him?
At Hull in the 90s.
Of course you did.
With his curly hair.
Yeah.
Because he lost his wife, didn't he, through a brain tumour. David Mayle, and I'm best mates with his brother-in-law. And he always used to say to me, when you went to Man United, he said, I fucking met him.
Do you know what? He could run, by the way.
Oh, he was quick.
Oh.
Yeah, he was teetotal, wasn't he?
Brilliant.
He was brilliant.
Brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. Mayle there. There was Colin Hendry just come to the club as I was making it.
It's at Blackburn, isn't it?
This is at Blackburn.
Yeah.
So we played Charlton in the full members cup.
Wow.
And Colin just signed from Dundee United, I think it was.
Dundee United, yeah.
And he scored the winner. But we played at Wembley against Charlton apprentices.
Right.
So you're like, man, this is like unbelievable.
So what makes the difference between you having a mindset of thinking I've got something much different here than the rest of them?
Determination.
Did you always feel like you had something to prove, David?
No. No, I just... It'll sound really arrogant, but I never thought I'd do anything other than play football. I always had
You knew you'd make a living out of it?
Yeah.
And did you believe it'd always be at a level of where you got to?
Well, that's the level I wanted to get to.
So this is what I love, and this is why I asked that question, is because it's like you can get this message in any part of life, can't you? You've obviously set yourself a vision of where you can believe you get to. We just said it earlier, there's only a small percentage of players that make it. But even though you're saying I'm not being arrogant, this is what I want to tap into because I think it's fucking great with what your mindset is here. Is you say, I always knew I'd make it. But in your head, what does that mean to you? Like, where are you picturing yourself?
What sort of standard?
What does make it mean to you in regards to the standard?
Is it just making a living or going to play in the Premier League?
No. To make it as a professional, to make your debut, to play in the first division, what it would have been then, before the Premier League. Sorry. Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah, 92, wasn't it?
Because the Premier League started then.
92,
but yeah, just to be a professional footballer. That's all I ever wanted to do.
At any level?
At any level. But I knew that if I conducted myself right and I did the right things, then I always wanted to give me best opportunity to.
So you knew that your ability would take care of itself? Your football intelligence would take care of itself?
Probably, yeah. But that don't come easy. That's
no.
Just...
Got to sacrifice your life, mate, haven't you?
Oh. I mean, where I used to live, there used to be a yard, and it sounds stupid, but every day after school, I'd be in that yard kicking a ball against the wall. On my own.
It's mad.
On my own, Dino. Left foot, right foot. Go really close to it. Bang, bang.
Yeah. Mad, innit? Heading the ball against the wall.
And no one's making you do that. You just wanted to do that yourself to be better, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. And then you come to teachers then were they were always on strike, so it was more of maybe a parent to take the school team and then play Saturday, Sunday, yeah. And just drive, just wanting to be the best what I could be.
But we get this a lot from everyone on the podcast, and I'm really interested to ask it because it's like with me, right, being a business mentor and helping businesses scale their businesses, 7 figures, 8 figures, whatever. People ask me the question, but Paul, how do you handle the likes of all your other businesses you've got going on? And you can say it's a team, all these things, but I always think it's the root core in me is what to be better, do more. But I can't really give, and this is why I ask everyone this question because I'm actually searching for the answer myself. I can't find the answer.
What do you do it for? Do you do it for money?
Well, this is the thing. I'm
a go-giver. Do you do it for the love of it?
Yeah, good question. So I guess this is the answer, right? So I'm a go-giver. There's a book called The Go-Giver, and I realised what I was. Hence why I manage Dino now, is that I like to give back to others to fulfil their potential.
Yeah.
So the businesses that I help to grow, scale their businesses, some businesses have come and they've only earned 30k a year. They're now doing 300k within the space of only 18 months.
Yeah.
More and more. That to me It's like, I fucking did that as much
Yeah.
as they did.
Yeah,
I'd give
yeah,
them the
yeah,
tools
yeah.
to do it, but I've
Yeah.
inspired them to do so. So I get a much more bigger buzz from that. Managing someone like Dean, when we first met, you'll know, I said, I want to get away from the bullshit of Dino. I got to know you as Dean. I want to help Dean in who Dean is.
Yeah.
So I get a buzz out of seeing him
Yeah.
doing things like this and all
Yeah,
this
yeah,
other
yeah.
stuff. So when you say, you know, you did it because of the love and your drive and passion, do you have an answer to help others who are listening and even watching this to understand of how they can also bring all that to the forefront so they can see out their potential?
Work hard. Hard work. Hard work doesn't cost anything.
It can't be beaten, can it?
And as I say, I'd be in that yard. Finished school at 3:30. I'd be in that yard quarter past 4. Then I'd come in at 5:30 for my tea. Then I'd be back down there. Playing just pitch black again.
Mad, innit?
Do you have a,
Just smashing the ball against the wall.
Yeah.
do you have a why, David, behind everything you do?
Because I just want to be the best of what I'm doing. Like when I play golf, I just want to be the best, and I'll go and practice. I'll go and do my chipping, go do my putting, because I want to be the best. And that's there's nothing wrong with wanting to be the best. Now I'm never ever going to be the best at golf. I'm never going to be a Cristiano Ronaldo. But as long as I'm the best in David May, and I can't turn around or somebody turns around and says, you could have done better there, because I know that I've given my best, and that's all that matters to me.
The best version of you.
Yeah.
You're exactly the same as that. I
Mad.
would say.
It's mad.
Like, it's crazy. There's a lot of similarities that I
The
hear here.
mentality that we have as footballers and as human beings, because everybody just thinks it's being given on a plate.
Oh,
You've got to get up every morning and go fucking training every day.
What's the biggest sacrifice you've had to make then to get to that level?
going out with your mates. Friday night,
Unbelievable.
Thursday night,
Can't eat a burger.
everything.
Everything, yeah.
You've got to eat and train like a pro to become a pro. And if you do that, always give yourself the best opportunity to become the best. You know, if it's pissing down outside, just go out. It's only rain.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, you have a shower every day.
Of course,
It's the
yeah.
same disease, isn't it? You just go out and have a shower. Just go and train. Just go and. My dad used to take us on a park right next to Oldham. I can't remember what the place is called. Right next to Oldham's training ground. Fields there, football. Just my dad had just had me turning, heading, doing all sorts of things. That I thought, why is he telling me to do this?
Yeah,
Turning with the outside, you know, the
yeah.
outside of your foot. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right. Just use your left foot. Just constantly at it. But not pushing me, encouraging me. And as long as you keep encouraging and you love it, then you'll become better at it. And as I say, you know, you've got to sacrifice so much. And when your mates are in the pubs, 16, 17, 18-year-old, and you have to turn around and say, can't go to a game tomorrow. That's when you know you're going to give a chance. You've got a chance.
Yeah.
Because my eldest brother, Pete, he was a very good footballer. Technically very, very good. Left foot, right foot. Played in the Middleton League, Manchester League. Very good. But come 15, 16, found women, found drink, found whatever else that was going on at the time.
And how many kids have been like that, mate? Scary, isn't it?
Dino, there's endless.
Full of talent as well, yeah.
Because you think, I'm good enough, I can do that. But as soon as you start burning that candle and you're here, you run out of candle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they said up Ben candles at both ends, do they? And that's the thing for me. I see
And
a lot.
do you know what, Dino? There, your mates as well.
Yeah,
The mates I have now are the mates I had when I was
I'm the same.
18.
I'm the same.
That's
And
interesting.
and that is probably my brother, my cousin, and a lad I've met through.
Do you know what my dad said to me, Maisie? And I don't think probably
Come
your
on,
dad
come
was the
on,
same.
come on.
My dad worked for Tetley's. You know, my dad was a shit goalkeeper. And he used to say, like, the ball kicking the ball again. He used to say to me, if I catch you kicking the ball with your right foot, I'll give you a good harding. Because he knew predominantly I was good with my
Right,
right. So then when we become footballers, then it's just natural. Do you know, I said that to Josh and Jordan. Josh and Jordan was... So I did exactly what my dad used to say to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a situation where like that. But he used to say to me,
But you took it on board though, Dino.
Yeah, I did, yeah. Sacrifice your life, and then you'll have to football. But what he said to me, Dave, and I don't know about you, is you get a lot of hangers on us.
Oh, Jesus.
How many fucking... I never go, Dad, they're what used me. I didn't know I'd be... Listen, I want as famous... I want as famous as you,
know what,
mate.
Dino? You don't know you're being used.
No, you don't. And I just
Until
took
you
it for
look back
granted
and think,
because I look back and think I'm too nice, I'm too forgiving, I'm too a giver.
Yeah.
But as you say, I'm not pissing up your ass here, but I want as famous as what you are and played in the highest level as you did, played in the Premier League. But for lower league teams, you play for the best team in the country. But it doesn't matter where you play. My dad used to say to me, "You'll get people," and I'll go, "No," and I wish I'd have fucking listened to him.
It's true.
Do you know what I mean?
It's true. You've got to surround yourself with the right people.
Yeah. You put yourself in a room of 10 fucking miserable, bitching, moaning, undriven individuals come the 11th, don't you?
Yeah,
Do the opposite,
100%,
come
yeah.
the 11th. Yeah.
It's mad how your mind works and how you think. You know, you play well on a Saturday. I used to go to the same pub when I was 15, watching my brother play on a Sunday. I'd only have a Coke.
Yeah.
You know,
Packet
Brit
of
Orange,
crisps,
whatever it was,
yeah,
whatever it was, on a Sunday. Go and watch him on a Sunday. Play Saturday, school. Play Sunday, then go and watch my brother in the afternoon. Go to the pub, and everyone in that pub knew me as David, and that's it. Not as later on as amazing place for United, this, that, the other. I'd still buy a pint. I still, you know, and that'd be it. And that's the grounding I had. I didn't go into town all the time.
No.
Because you knew you're going to get all the adulation of what you're saying. Get marvelled.
Yeah.
People, you know, wanting to buy you drinks and everything like that. Gets out of hand.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking then, oh, this is all right, isn't it? But then you're getting tagged along with people that you don't know.
Yeah.
And you don't want to know when you look back at it.
Get yourself grounded, know who you want to surround yourself
and my dad was brilliant. My dad, if you want to do it, do it. But if you want to get there, you've got to sacrifice.
So when you sign for United, and you come like as you say, fucking legend, big hitter, did you still go to that pub all the time?
100%.
See what I mean? I did exactly the same. I'm in Hull and people go, "You've never fucking changed, have you?"
Yeah, what are you doing here?
Yeah. And I buy somebody a beer. Listen, we all know you go in pubs 10 years ago, and all the drinkers.
Yeah.
My dad would say, "He'll be still sat in that fucking seat in 10 years' time." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he used to say, "You keep going in there."
Yeah.
And then after, even when you were successful, I'd go in. Like you just said, we're all do you know what? We're all the same. Unless you're a big time fucking Charlie and you cut people off and you're not a drinker, and that's fine, I get that. But the trouble is, like there, I got more satisfaction out of going in them shitty pubs when I become successful.
I do it now.
I do, exactly the same.
I hate going in like funky, trendy bars. I'd rather go to like a little shitty Irish bar or a little shitty pub.
Yeah.
Where you can just have
a little snug, yeah.
But this is why we do this podcast, isn't it? Like I was saying, David, like I've said it to so many guests, is like I said to you and I met you, is people have labels for everyone and anyone. So the media try and portray people as being this celebrity. Celebrity is a word that I made up. The reality is, if you get to the root of it, we're all fucking human. It's just that you had a job which were actually in the public eye. You had a job in the public eye. So others from a lens outwards.
Yeah.
Look at something totally
different.
different.
But the reason why we do this is because Maisie,
to get that same message across on the stand.
Listen, not being rude, he's played with the best players in the fucking world, man.
Yeah,
in the same team.
Yeah, exactly.
So they'll probably tie the brush with Maisie. Do you know, like you got Giggs, Becks.
Yeah, but when we look at Giggs here, we can't spring him back because we don't know Giggs as well as you. But when we met Giggs here, he was fucking sound, wasn't he?
Yeah, but I've met him loads of times when he played against him.
And he was fucking sound.
But everybody would probably look at Maisie as the same as David Beckham, Roy Keane, Ryan Giggs, Eric Cantona, all these. Do you know what I mean? Lee Sharp.
Because you're idols and whatnot.
Because you're playing in the same team, they probably think he's the fucking same person as them. But that's why I love these podcasts, to tell you how you are, where you came from, how did you make your fucking pennies. Do you know what I mean?
Because think of it now, right? If we go to someone like Cristiano, I always say to everyone this, I say it to business owners to get the message across. There was a time when no one knew who the fuck he was. He's just a kid and no one gave a fucking shit about him.
Came with that curl, didn't he?
Yeah.
On his hair.
And because of all the sacrifices, the talent, all the other things he's going to become, again, we put a label on it. Now, I'm not saying this one day, hopefully Cristiano is here, but I guarantee now, me and him, I'm sure you'd be the same, and I'm sure you might have met him, it does speak to him the same way as anyone else, because we're fucking human.
Yeah.
And so this is why, when I go into the question I want to ask you now is, when you had a great crew with Blackburn players, some awesome players, Shearer, fucking, Batty, I understand that David Batty on the phone was saying to you, fucking scum when you signed United, yeah? Tell us about that.
Yeah. This is, well, so how it came about me going to United, we was playing Norwich away. Mark Robbins, ex-United, centre forward.
Yeah.
And me and Mark used to play Sunday League together.
Robert, yeah.
And his dad used to be the manager. So, played Norwich, in the bar after, having a chat with him, and he says, United are here watching you. I went, yeah, fucking good one. And he went, see, Les Kershaw over there, who's a chief scout, who Mark then was, I don't know, he was married to Alice and his daughter. So Les came over and says, what's happening to your contract? I said, nothing. I says, not heard anything off the club. I was going into my last final year. And he just said, the manager wants to sign you. Alex Ferguson.
What's that moment when you hear that?
Oh, inside, my fucking stomach's going. I'm thinking, is he? I went, yeah, wow. Absolutely.
Wow.
He says, right, the manager will ring you next week. Next week, the gaffer rings us. I want you to replace Brucey. We've watched you since you was
what a player as
14, 15-year-old. You know, we've always watched you. We've always kept an eye on you.
Wow.
We know your background because that's what the gaffer did.
Yeah, it was good at that, wasn't he?
Not just that not the end product on the pitch.
Yeah.
Looks where you've come from, your your family, your roots. How do you fancy signing for United? That was it. I was done.
So Bats hammered you.
So the manager then says, what I'll do, we'll put out a press release end of March, April to say that we're interested in signing you. Just ignore it. Just carry on doing what you're doing. So we're playing Spurs away. I'm rooming with Jason Wilcox. 6 o'clock in the morning, phone goes. Somebody shouting scum down the phone. And I'm thinking, who the fuck's that at 6 o'clock in the morning? 6:15, 6:30, 7:15. Phone's out of the wall. Go down for pre-match, 12 o'clock. Walk into the canteen, dinner area. Getting Batsy's there with a newspaper. It was Bats ringing me because he then just throws me the paper.
Because he was late.
David May set to sign for Manchester United. And it was Bats ringing me at 6 o'clock in the morning shouting fucking scum down the phone. So, and he went, you're not going there, are you? I went,
because Bats is a Leeds lad, and Leeds and Man United hate each other. Yeah.
And we all call each other scum.
Well, Bats was same age as me. I used to play against him when he played
Bats
for
was brilliant.
Oh, well, I played against him when I played for Hull Boys. He played for Leeds Boys.
Yeah.
And when he played for Pudsey Boys, I used to play for East Riding.
Yeah.
So we're both same age. And he was like a nasty fucker.
Yeah, he was. Horrible.
Nasty. But he was good.
Some player,
he was good, some player.
Some player.
Yeah.
I mean,
so that's the reason why I keep calling you scum.
If you can
we'll get Bats. He doesn't even like football, Bats. That's the problem.
I think Bats used to follow me home because, like, when we used to play away, we'd travel over the tops from Blackburn to the 66 to get on the motorway. Bats used to go back to Leeds and back to Manchester. I'd be driving along 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock at night after a game. Driving along, pitch black. All of a sudden, lights come up. Like, literally right behind the car. He's drove all the way with his lights off.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, exactly. To catch me up. And then he's flashing his lights.
Jesus.
I'm thinking, who the fucking hell's that? Yeah. And it's that fucking behind
I
me.
think it's a cop or something.
Yeah, anyone. But, Dino, he didn't even have his lights on. He drove up, pitch black. So I didn't even see the car coming up behind me.
Wow.
Jesus.
And he's flashing the lights. I'm thinking, now who's that?
Yeah.
And we get on the motorway and he's like that.
So what was in the paper? What when he opened the
just David May
on the
set
verge
to sign for Manchester United. Manchester United interested, something along them lines.
And did you play that game that day?
Played that game, yeah. Yeah.
Supporters
And no, and even then, Blackburn still never spoke to us.
No.
Never spoke to us. The only time they spoke to us, so we ended up playing over in Jersey with Jack Walker's team, against Jack Walker's team, and I think the nightclub was called Applejack's. Jack owned the nightclub.
Yeah.
So we're in there, and Ray Harford, God bless him, unbelievable coach.
Yeah.
Pulled me to one side and said, "Right, what's happening with your contract?" I said, "Well, not been offered anything, to be fair, Ray. He went, well, what are you after? And at the time I was on 500 quid a week. Shearer was on 9 grand a week. Bats and them are on 6, 7, 8, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm on 500 quid a week. I said, right, I've earned more in bonuses this year than I've been, like, just my normal wage. Well, what are you after? I said, well, I look at all the other lads. He went, you know, you won't be getting that. He said, the best we'll offer you is 2 grand. I went, Ray, we're in a nightclub. It's 1:30 in the morning. We've all had a drink.
Yeah.
I'll wait for the chairman to speak to me. Chairman never rang us.
Really?
And then I signed for United 1st of July. Blackburn then go and sign Chris Sutton for 5 million. In between that, Robert Core, the chairman of Blackburn at the time, says I was being greedy. I was asking for too much money. Never even spoke to him.
Really?
So I go to Blackburn 4 years ago. I go to Blackburn 4 years ago. I'm in a lounge chatting away, and somebody asked me, so how did the move come? Blackburn to United. So I said exactly the same thing. I said, did this. I said, do you know what? The chairman, Robert Core, didn't have the balls to speak to me. I said, so I just want to say now that all the Blackburn fans who gave me grief, have a go at the chairman at the time, Robert Core. I go and sit back at the table. Little tap on my shoulder. Robert Core. He says you was a little bit harsh there, weren't you, David? I went, you tell me when you spoke to me. He said, we didn't speak to you because we knew that Blackburn United had already spoke to you. I know that Martin Edwards had already spoke to you, so I knew your mind was made up.
Brilliant.
I said, but you went to the papers and said I was being greedy. I
Yeah.
said, and you never even spoke to me.
Fucking brilliant.
So I went,
Brilliant.
do you know what? He said, well, there's my hand. I went, right, yeah.
That was it?
That was it. Never even shook his hand.
How much did they pay for you? Can you remember?
It was 1.2 because I went to tribunal.
And what year was that?
That was 94-5.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you've ended up in, let's talk about United's team, and obviously the fucking excitement of being signed to someone like Sir Alex.
Yeah.
What's the best and worst part of being part of someone like Sir Alex's team?
There's no bad things, is there? I mean, you're part of. I look at it, and I still look at it now. It's the biggest and best club in the world, and you're joining. When I joined there, United had just won the double, just won the FA Cup against Chelsea 4-0, and just won the league. And Blackburn was pushing them for the league. And me walking into that dressing room, knowing that everybody in there were absolute superstars. And for the first 6 months, I never said a word.
Didn't you?
Yeah, I'm going to ask you that. Did you ever feel like your depth coming to the dressing room?
Oh,
like that?
yeah. I mean, I don't know whether they did it strategically, but they put me between Pallet and they put me between Brucey in the changing rooms.
Right, sat in between them two.
But when you look around, you've got Schmeichel, Cantona, Incy, Sparky, Brucey, Pallet, Dennis, Keeney, Giggsy, Kanchelskis. And I'm thinking...
Sharpie was there.
Sharpie was there.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, wow, Paul Parker.
Yeah.
How am I going to get into this team?
And were you ever aware of the class of 92 coming through then as well?
Not really, no. I knew Scholesy because me and Scholesy are from the same area.
Because me knowing you're not a shy kid.
No.
So when you walked into that environment, next
Yeah.
6 hours, I was at Middlesbrough with Pally.
Yeah.
And Pally's not a gobshite.
No.
Pally's quite quiet.
Yeah.
And I know Steve through being at Hull City
Yeah.
as manager when I was ambassador. Is that you just being quiet because you know these people?
Yeah.
Or because you've always been a confident lad since I've known you?
Yeah.
Was you confident then, but you just kept quiet because you wanted to?
It's going from one dressing room to another, and obviously I'd never been in another dressing room.
No.
And because I came through the youth, through 18 as a pro,
That's all you've known.
everybody's always come to the club.
Yeah.
All the ex-players, all the players have come to the club, so I've always been part of that. Whereas then I go to United, and I'm like,
starting a new job again,
wow.
isn't it? Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
But no disrespect to Blackburn.
Oh,
So then you was
a brilliant team.
Yeah,
by the way.
because you got Shearer and
Yeah.
Tim and all them, like, and
Yeah.
and you won the league, didn't they? And that is
I didn't win the league there.
you didn't win the league
No,
when I was
they
there, but
won
they
the
won the league, didn't they?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that, and we call it as footballers, you're a big fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
Was you a big fish in a small pond at Blackburn? No disrespect to Blackburn.
I was very comfortable in the dressing room.
Right, okay.
Taking the piss out of each other.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
do you know what dressing rooms are like? The brutal.
Yeah, brutal. Yeah.
I was very, very comfortable in doing that.
Brutal.
You know, away trips, you know, it'd be just constantly taking the piss out of each other.
Yeah.
But going in there, it's always a case of, who do I take the piss out of here, or do I take the piss out of?
You got to find your way.
And it was like finding my way.
Yeah.
And then Giggsy mentions it. Christmas party. He said for the 6 months, because Jason Wilcox asked him. He said I was amazed because Jay used to live in Worsley where Giggsy used to live, and he said I was amazed at getting on. He went, "It's quiet, innit?" He went, "You what?" He's quiet. He went, "It's fucking mental."
As I know you.
Christmas party.
Go on, tell us.
No. Christmas party, a few beers, opened up, started taking the piss out of each other.
Yeah.
And then I felt comfortable in the people around me then.
Right.
You know, my first room partner was Eric.
Really? Wow.
What are the conversations going on there then? Tell us. What's Eric like in regards to his mindset?
Eric was unbelievable. For me, I thought best player I played with.
Would you look at him at the time, even though he were a player as well, kind of like a mentor around you as well at the same time, 'cause he's been around that dressing room?
Maybe the younger kids.
Yeah.
With the way he trained. He'd be the first one out and he'd be the last one in.
Really?
Yeah. Unbelievable. Unless it was a team meeting and he'd be the last one in, first one out, ready to get on it. Yeah.
Wow. People don't see that, do they?
Brilliant. Unbelievable.
What was his mentality, David?
Driven as a winner. Always wanted to win.
Which is obviously you as well, even being in that
so
position.
So that rubbed off on... Well, you had that anyway, didn't you?
I had that anyway, but going into that dressing room, drawing or losing was never an option. Coming second was never an option. You're a failure.
Of course, yeah.
And it was like, fuck. And it's only when I went to Burnley after I'd been at United that you actually realise the drive that I had when I was at United, and the importance of winning.
Is that where like with your mentality, and I worked with Incy at Middlesbrough, and you got Roy the same
standards.
The standards was unbelievable, wasn't it?
Oh.
Unbelievable. So then when you went to Burnley, no disrespect to Burnley as well, is that
if Burnley finished fourth,
they'd been happy. So like, but your mentality, because the Erics and the fucking Inces and the Keanes, they rubbed off on you.
Yeah.
You tried taking that standards to Burnley.
Yes.
And how did they cope with that? The players.
They were nice.
They just think.
They just thought.
They just didn't give a fuck.
No. I was gobsmacked.
Really.
I was absolutely gobsmacked.
Really.
The mentality.
Yeah.
And it's not because that was their level.
Yeah.
And they were never going to get to another level of where I'd come down from.
Of course.
To be fair, there'd probably be the odd player at Burnley or these other clubs they'd be hoping to get to a Manchester United, wouldn't there? The odd one player.
Probably
not as a collective.
Robbie Blake.
Blakey, I played with Blake.
Robbie. Brilliant player.
Great player.
But a lazy bastard.
No, just didn't sacrifice his life.
Yeah. Unbelievable player.
Chinese is fucking beer.
Yeah.
I said to him one day, I said, you know, if you look after yourself, all right, he played in the Premier League with Burnley and he scored the goal against Man United, didn't he? The volley.
Yeah.
Twist you in and out.
Yeah, unbelievable. But you know what? Didn't give a fuck. No. I just got Blakey. Because I was a good trainer, I was a good pro.
Yeah.
He wasn't a good pro. Stan Tennant said to me, like, he loved him. Stan got the best out of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if he was you there with Stan?
I was there with Stan, yeah.
See, I saw him in Barbados and he went to me, Blake is probably one of the best players I've coached.
Yeah.
But he said if he gave a fuck, he'd play for a top four play.
He could have done.
He'd play for a top four. See, he had all the ability in the world. Yeah. And Blake will probably tell you that now. Do you know, he'd turn around and say, Dean, if I would have... So I would say, come on. Do you know what I mean? Stop eating Chinese. Stop. And he didn't give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? It was crazy.
No.
So going back to United though, what's the pressures of playing for a club like United that fans won't see as a player?
When I was at Blackburn, because I've only ever been at Blackburn as a kid and grown up as a kid, playing in front of from 3,000 up to maybe about 15,000, 16,000 when I got into the Premier League, maybe 20,000. It never felt under pressure because I lived in Manchester, I was out of that area.
Yeah.
Maybe if I'd lived in Blackburn, and you see
you go to a
you
local
see-
pub, people.
yeah, people are always there and
Yeah,
asking you
yeah,
questions,
yeah.
and you're getting a bit of grief or whatever it is. So I never really felt under pressure at Blackburn, but when I went through the doors at United, even signing my contract, I never spoke to the gaffer about money or anything. He just walked me down to the museum.
Oh wow, showed you all the history.
And he showed me the history.
Brilliant.
Wow.
It's very rare club would even do that today, isn't it?
It was unbelievable, honest to God. And just that hour of me going round the museum showed me, the
It's the
Munich,
standard you need to be at to win these
Smart.
trophies. Yeah.
all those players,
Bobby
Charlton,
Charlton.
of what it meant to play for Manchester United.
Brilliant.
That's when you think, I'll run through a fucking brick wall for him.
Yeah.
And you would.
Yeah. He was very good at
You
man
would.
management, wasn't he?
Brilliant. But also, you as I said when I walked into that dressing room, everyone's a superstar. In my eyes, everyone, because they just won the league, just won the double.
Yeah.
They were all unbelievable players. Unbelievable players.
Is this true that when I played at Bradford with Sharpie, I asked Sharpie when he left Torquay, like you going to Blackburn to Man U, he went Torquay to Man U, didn't he? And Sir Alex obviously signed Sharpie, and I says, "Oh, what was it?" I said, "It must have been unbelievable, like playing obviously with the best players in the country, in the world." I says, "What was the coaching like?" You know what he turned around to me and says,
Gaffer never coached.
Never coached me. I went, "Why?" He went, "Because when you sign for Man United, you don't need coaching because you're a fucking good player." I couldn't catch my breath.
Yeah, crazy, yeah.
Do you know what? The manager very, very rarely took training. Very rarely.
Because it was Mickey Phelan and
Because it would have been Kiddo at the time.
Kiddo, Mike Phelan.
Kiddo.
Oh, Mike Phelan was still playing.
Kiddo, Jimmy Ryan.
Jimmy Ryan, that's right. Yeah.
Then Carlos came. Steve McLaren came.
Yeah.
But
He never got coached.
The gaffer wouldn't come on and do pattern play or anything like that.
No.
It'd be down to the coaches.
Yeah.
Generally, Kiddo.
But I think the standard,
But
I
the
watch.
gaffer would always be at every single training session at the side.
I watch a lot of Keane on his podcast, and he mentions it. Doesn't he? Says like, even if he wasn't there, they just knew the standard they had to fucking be at anyway, and that he'd expect everyone else to follow that same
100%.
standard. Yeah,
100%. Training was brutal. Training was harder. It was harder in training than it was in games.
So when it comes to the current team of like Manchester United now, David, when you think about someone like Rashford,
Yeah.
and they call him a lazy trainer,
Yeah. Wouldn't happen. Our dressing room ran the team. And there was standards.
I've been in teams like that. Yeah.
Standards were so high.
Well, the manager didn't have to manage it, did they?
Because the players looked after each other.
Of course.
And if you stepped out of line,
Somebody stood on your
somebody
toes.
say something.
Yeah.
You know, even the young kids coming through, even not like the class of '92, but when Kieran Richardson made his debut, came in. I think he came in a Bentley, something like that. And Keenan, what the fuck hell was that?
yeah,
Never came in it again. And you're like, well, you've only played one game. Play 50 games, play 100 games, play 200 games.
And then drive a Bentley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There wasn't really I've been into training in Carrington now. Every car's a Ferrari, Lamborghini, Rolls Royce, whatever they are. And don't get me wrong, they're all
Multi-millionaires.
multi-millionaires. I think I had a Merc. I think the standard car in our car park was probably an S-Class, which were the top of the range in Mercedes. But there were no... Later on when Teddy came, then Beck started, then Yorkie with the Ferraris.
Yeah.
But up until then...
Yeah, I was just like...
Range Rover and
Range
a Merc,
Rover,
that's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, X5s.
Yeah,
all that.
that's
I had
it.
an X5, that was
That's
it. I
it.
thought I was fucking doing all right, you know.
Yeah. It's...
But like Ince said to me at Middlesbrough, you get kids coming in sort of a 320 BM.
Yeah.
And they haven't been in the fucking first team.
I remember there's a lad, Mads Tim. He came in, he had a Golf GTI. He paid something like 20 grand for it. Paid 12.5 grand insurance for it and wrote it off. And you're like, my first car was a Chevette, shitty Chevette, 600 quid. But no, I always think that when I was at United, everyone was grounded. There was no big hitters, so much as no big hitters in like no, big time Charlies.
Yeah.
Everybody was just on a dressing room. Training was 100%. sometimes on a Friday, you know, you might have Liverpool Saturday or Sunday, whatever it is.
You calm down a bit.
No.
No, kick fuck out of each
Dino,
other.
the amount of times the manager will say, right, that's it, stop training.
Yeah.
Because you're kicking 10 bells of shit out of each other.
Any scraps? We've had a few.
Not really in training.
No.
I think in training.
You don't have to mention names.
No. You play like the English lads versus the young lads, or lads young v old.
Yeah.
So obviously the class of '92 is coming into this now.
Yeah.
And it would be absolutely. You'd have 2 boxes to start off with.
Yeah.
15-20 minutes in the box.
Yeah. Loved them boxes, you know.
Fizzing around the ball.
Yeah.
And then
8v8s.
8v8s.
Fucking brilliant.
And that'd be it.
Brilliant, aren't they?
Dino, honest to God, the amount of 2-footed challenges going in, and Kiddo or the gaffer go, right, that's it. Kiddo, get him in.
Their mentality as well is to try and show up in it and try to pull an.
Well, just don't want to lose the 8v8.
Yeah,
they don't want to lose, just winners.
Yeah. Because we also had the yellow jersey.
Yeah. Oh fuck me, I was scared of the fucking day, mate.
You know, if you got voted for the yellow jersey,
donkey jersey. Yeah.
It's in the museum now.
Yeah.
And on the back of it, because we called it, I've had a Pally, because Pally was
shit out in training. Yeah.
But and you'd play for the yellow jersey.
Yeah.
And it'd be an embarrassment
the
following week to put the yellow jersey.
Got it once.
So in our day, everybody'd vote the worst player, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we used to.
Yeah.
But everybody, because I want the greatest. I'd run around, I'd give the ball away. But my mentality was, I want to be the best player on Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm all right giving the ball away in training, so it doesn't matter. You don't mean to.
It does matter.
Well, it does matter, but you don't mean to. Do you know what I mean?
No,
I used to fucking.
I
know it does matter. Yeah, I know it does. That's why I used to get the yellow fucking bib every time.
Yeah.
Because I'd try nutmegging people and it never come off. Do you know what I mean? But I knew on the Saturday my dad used to say to me, when you cross that line on Saturday, you'll be the best fucking player. So I'd never let me down. I'd let myself down during the week because I'd get the yellow fucking jersey all the time. People used to pick on me anyway. Do you know what I mean? They just go, "Oh, just give it fucking Dino." Robbie Blake used to get it all the time because he was a lazy fucker. Do you know what I mean?
But in training,
that pride, you don't want to have it, do you?
Anyone pissing about, fuck me, you get absolutely slaughtered. You get hammered.
Yeah.
And it become personal at times.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it goes into, when you look at the Champions League and you win the treble, and I know you didn't play that particular final, but you know, I think you played with the FA Cup final before that. Yeah, in Wembley. Yeah. Even when you've won the Champions League, you've still obviously made a commitment. You've still played as part of that bigger picture. You've had
massive, man. Massive.
Come on, David, tell us. Like, we're not obviously Champions League winners. Like, what's the feeling, mate?
Do you know what? That Champions League medal, truthfully, means nothing to me.
But the game, though, as well.
The game was unbelievable.
Yeah, so
but the actual medal don't mean anything because I never kicked a ball in the Champions League that year because I was injured. It was only the last 7-8 games.
I get that, but you've got to look at it. You've just said earlier, and this is where I'm going to back you up. And you're probably seeing it from a player's perspective, but I'm there a deep thinker, as you could probably see. Is I see it as like, there's been a time, even season after season, it don't have to be that perfect season, but you've contributed in some way, whether it be training against someone, the players that's built to that
I get that.
So I want to say to you, and this is why I'm glad you came, is you can say all you want and pull yourself down, but I'm sure you'd agree, wouldn't you, Dean, is those seasons previous up to that moment, you've played a pivotal role, whether you think you want or not.
Yeah, I remember getting beat by Dortmund in 96-7 in the Champions League semi-final. It was horrible. That was the year Eric left. That was horrible. And you just think you don't want to play in those games again.
Yeah.
Whether it's semi-finals, you know, playing against Chelsea in the semi-final down at Aston Villa when the young kids came through.
Yeah.
The hardest game for me to lose would be a semi-final. It must be horrible because at least you've been to the final. You've had the day out. You've had got the suits and got the the songs and this, that, the other.
Yeah.
But had to win the last game of the season against Spurs. Everyone thought Spurs would probably fold over because it was us and Arsenal going for the league.
Yeah.
They went 1-0 up, and you're like, this ain't supposed to happen. Even the Spurs fans didn't really cheer because they're thinking, well, fucking Arsenal are going to win it now. And then Beck scored. So we had unbelievable chances. Unbelievable chances.
I watched it,
First half. And then Beck scores just before half time.
What's a fucking goal as well?
Free,
whips it, doesn't he?
Whips it, top corner.
Yeah.
And
he was a Spurs fan, wasn't he, Beck?
Probably growing up, yeah.
Growing up as
yeah.
a kid, yeah.
And then made a change at half time. Gaffer brings Coley on first
Trips
touch.
the keeper.
Does the keeper.
Yeah.
And then it's your game management of seeing the game out, not going gun go. If they'd have scored, we'd have probably gone and scored another.
Yeah.
Unless it was so late and we couldn't
But
have done that.
did you know what was going on elsewhere? Obviously,
We didn't.
You didn't have a clue.
It,
just the
it
gaffer.
didn't matter.
Ah, right, because you were winning.
on the game.
You were winning. You win the league.
Yeah, we win the league.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And then the next game was the FA Cup, which was against Newcastle, which I thought.
So after that game, when you won the league,
Yeah.
the FA Cup was what, a week later?
Following Saturday, yeah.
Following Saturday.
Yeah.
Could you have a drink after that?
Yeah.
He'd let you have a beer after that?
100%.
Because I had, well, obviously, Sharpie tells me the story about him in Giggsy when the gaffer knocked on his door.
Yeah.
What? So it wasn't like that strict where you could go have a good drink.
No,
then?
the gaffer would turn around and say, every time you won something, enjoy it.
Yeah.
You've earned it.
Right. So you'd be on the piss after that, but then you
so
buckle down.
So the Sunday I think we went to a pub just really close to Old Trafford.
Was that quite private or was it closed off?
No, that was private.
Yeah.
Wives, girlfriends.
Yeah.
Had a party then, and I think we went out on the. Did we go out on the Monday? Might have gone out on the Monday as well.
And then you was in Tuesday.
And then we're in Tuesday, Wednesday,
Thursday, Friday, and then
Friday travel down.
FA Cup final.
FA Cup final.
Brilliant, mate.
And then even then, having won the FA Cup to win the double, stayed in the Copthorne, had a good drink that night. But obviously then the following Wednesday is Champions League.
Fucking
wow.
brilliant,
So
mate.
it wasn't.
What a
It
fucking
wasn't
week that is.
fully.
Yeah.
What a week that
And
is.
this is the thing, like, as much as you
I'd be
can...
back in fucking rehab if it was.
yeah.
It's because you might have won the fucking treble.
As much as you can, like, I know you're being humble and stuff, like, honestly, from me and Dean, mate, like, to put that on your CV and in that first week, it's fucking huge, mate.
Well, there's only 25 people. Well, now City have done it.
Yeah, but
There's
look at in even that. Look at the millions. Yeah, exactly. So from the millions who have done it, mate.
Yeah.
And honestly, you're the nicest bloke I've met. Even fucking, I'm just saying that because you're here. Like, I've met so many players. I've been fortunate to do so. Barring you, Dean, obviously. But one of the nicest blokes I've met, mate. That you're so humble with it, and I think that just shows greatness in itself. I want to fast forward now to retirement in football and get into like today.
Yeah.
So, like. And I asked this to Dean, and I'd love to get your perspective on it. Now, I understand when footballers retire, they go into that bit of mental health and that, because the questioning, that's all they've ever known. It's a different life. How did you handle that afterlife of leaving football from the very high to now coming back down to living day to day?
I struggled big time. I remember leaving United. This is obviously, I don't know, the year after United at Burnley, but that leaving United, I thought my fucking world had ended. Went to enjoy night out with the lads in town in Deansgate, living room there. They just won the league at Everton. I wasn't even part of it, so I thought I'll go and enjoy an hour with the lads. I was staying I had an apartment in Manchester, so I was staying there, right behind the living room.
Was you still married at this point?
Yeah. Just had daughter had just been born. She was born in March.
Right.
So this is May. So 8 week, 10 week, whatever it was. We had a night out. I got a bottle of champagne. I thought I'm having that when the lads next win the Premier League to celebrate. Walked around the corner. There was an homeless bloke, park bench. So what you got there, pal? Bottle of champagne. Are we opening it? Yeah, go on then, fuck it. £400 bottle of champagne, £300 bottle of champagne. Me and this homeless geezer on a park bench drinking it between us.
What were you thinking at that time? What's going through your head?
Well, I thought then, fuck me, what do I do now? Career's over. Not got anything going. I had nothing to fall back on.
Financially, was you okay?
Financially, I was fine, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's nothing to do with the money. It's that.
This is what I mean. This is why I asked that question. I love that. Yeah.
So that was done with it.
I went on a 12-day bender on my own.
For what reason? You had no fulfilment.
I had no.
Now to get up for.
Nothing to get up for. Nothing.
No purpose.
Obviously, the end of the season had come, and all I could think is, what the fuck am I going to do now? I'm 34.
Are you never preparing for something like that when you come to the end of your retirement? You're just thinking football.
Do you know what? I don't think anything ever plans you for that. Because it's like, I suppose it's like being in the army. Every day is regimented.
Structure, yeah.
You've got structure to your training. You're in at 9:30, 10 o'clock. You finish training at 12:30, 1 o'clock. You're on for 1:30.
You eat at the same times.
You eat shit, piss at the same times.
Yeah.
Everything's the same, and it stops.
So what were your darkest moment then?
Darkest moment is probably those 12 days where I'm thinking, and I was just drinking myself. I go into the Mulligans behind Kendall's, and I just drink myself to a fucking... Honest. I will crawl home from there.
It's fucking horrible, isn't it?
It's a horrible position, Dino.
I've
Do you know what?
I've been there.
My missus would ring me up. Are you coming home? No, not yet. When are you coming home? You've got a daughter here. And a son. No. Just put the phone down. I was horrible. I was fucking horrible.
So how did you get yourself out from that hole, so people who might be watching who might still be currently
12 days after, something just clicked in my mind that I can't keep doing what I'm doing.
Body goes and shut down, isn't it?
Yeah. Went home and cried my eyes out to my missus. What am I going to do? What are we going to do? She said, we'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
But because Kerry went to me when I first worked with Kerry 6 years ago. She went, obviously knowing me now and knowing people like yourself and that, ex-footballers, she went, I cannot believe we're all the same. Every one of us. Don't matter if you're a Champions League winner or a fucking Division 2 player.
So what would be both your... This is a question for me from a fan perspective for both of you then. What would be your advice to footballers who are looking at you what's coming after the game?
You very quickly forgot.
Of course.
Yeah. Whenever... I mean, people still come up to us and have photographs and stuff like that.
Yeah. The next top prospect.
But, you know, you're on the scrap heap.
Yeah.
You're 34. All you've ever known is football. And you think, fuck, what do I do now?
Was you? Because I know he says I don't class myself as intelligent. Was you clever? At school?
No.
I was exactly the same.
No. The careers officer came round to our school when I was 14, and I just sort of like joined, or I knew, might have been 15, when I knew I was going to go to Blackburn as an apprentice.
And then that was it.
And
Your school went out the window.
I said to him, I'm going to be a footballer. Anyway, I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
I said I'm going to be a footballer.
So for both of you though, what's your advice to professional footballers at the moment that are not warned about this when they come out of the game? What advice would you give them?
Be prepared. Have something to maybe fall back on. I was lucky because after a year at Burnley, Dennis Irwin rang me probably about 12 months after and said, MUTV want you to come and do a little bit of TV stuff and talk about the games.
Stay in the game, yeah.
And that's where I've been since.
Because a lot of people work for Sky. I work for Sky. Yeah, of course it is, yeah.
Mentality.
People, do you know what, Paul? People do not understand. They think it's all, you know, riches and you've got a great lifestyle, big house, nice cars, and it's the worst. All right, I was quite fortunate because I played for 20 years. So David obviously retired at 34, but it's the hardest thing in the world. I don't care what anybody says. If I got 1,000 footballers in this room, and I'll ask this question to Dave. What do you miss more about football?
It's the dressing room.
Straight 1,000,000%. 1,000 footballers say, yeah, because you got to stop playing football. Your legs have gone. Do you know, you get old. That's just life. That fucking change room is the best thing you will ever. It's the best medicine.
As soon as we saw each other say, just have a little crack with each other.
Of course.
You know, the golfing trips that you do.
Take the piss out of each
anything.
other.
It's just, it's instinctive.
And I think what people don't get, and if you really think of it here now, and the listeners, I want them to listen to me when I say this, as I think as a football fan, and, you know, watching the sport, everyone looks at you differently. Like I said, I don't, because I've always looked at celebrity status as bullshit. Like, you know my story, music industry, whatever. Yeah. But a normal day-to-day life is you go to school, you go to college, university. So you're not even in the real world having a normal job. No. Your jobs have started at the age of 10, 11, 12, whatever, when you've gone into academies and you're restricted, and then you retire on paper, like Hyman's retire, at the average age of 35 plus. You don't even live half your life.
No.
It's insane, isn't it, when you think about it? But no one thinks about that.
And the thing is as well now, with I think with professional footballers now, we were lucky because we could draw on our pensions at 35. I think it's 55 now.
Yeah.
For a professional athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'd have been in League One, League Two, and I've not earned that money to sustain me from 35 to 55, all that glamorous stuff of, driving around in nice Mercs, having a 5-bedroom house, that quickly dissolves.
Dissolves straight away.
Because you're not earning it.
No.
My advice to any young kid coming up now who's earning, I don't know, £1,000 a week, £2,000 a week, and that's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, that is a hell of a lot of money for anybody. But these footballers are only got such a short life. The next tackle could be the last tackle. You just see Martinez now just on his cruise ship for United.
Yeah.
One of those kids, God forbid, does his cruise ship. That's it. Maybe not career ending, but it's massive. Those kids now, the PFA do nothing for you.
No.
You've got to do it for yourself. And you've got to make sure that when you finish football at 34, 35, even 30, you've got something to fall back on. Whether it's houses, because houses
property
never really goes down.
No.
And you can always sell them. It's solid. And invest in the right way. Have somebody that's not just going to milk you and go.
You see, because of not being rude, like when Josh signed for Accrington Stanley, first pro contract, £700 a week. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was earning a fortune.
Yeah.
And the one thing about it, and I says, Josh, my 20 years, your status, hold on a bit, it goes like that. You do not realise how quick it goes. Now, is the education in like the Aki Stanleys, the Salfords, who are earning £1,000 a week, £1,500 a week, not being rude to them, and every footballer is a level, and we all get that, but they're going to have to get a job after football.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're not earning the 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand, 100 grand, 300.
But everybody outside football sees that and go, oh, well, you're professional football, you must be earning it.
Of course it is. That's what they look at. That's what straight away look at.
I've still got a house. I've still
got a mortgage. Still got to pay my car finance.
Exactly.
I've got fucking 2 children.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a big believer in. I think, and I'd love to be able to help in some way. Like I said to you, with footballers who come out, because I always believe that everybody needs to have a purpose. And even after, like you said, I know that we said there's a plan B, but I feel like any plan A or any plan B comes down to purpose. So like I said to the business owners, like, I've had so many business owners who I've helped scale their businesses, and they're still fucking depressed, even if they've done a turnover of 2, 3, 5 million plus.
Yeah.
And they were happier previous before because they don't have a purpose. So they're chasing that next big thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, when you chase that next big thing, you're not actually living in the moment to actually enjoy the moments of having a purpose.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what would you say now? Where's life for you now, David? Like, what's your purpose now then?
Do you know what? I'm 54 and 55 in June. Is to just enjoy life. I'm not saying I don't need money, because everyone needs money. I'm not desperate for money.
It's not your drive.
It's not my drive. My drive now is watch my kids grow up, and try and give something back to football. Whether you do dinners or whether don't charge for doing dinners and stuff like that, but just to give back something that I've been in a very, very privileged position to play for Manchester United and to be a professional footballer, is to give something back.
But the one thing about our status is, and I'm very privileged, and David is probably more than I am, is that you get invited to a hell of a lot of fucking corporate things, which is very, I find it very to go play golf with David May, or to go play wherever with, do you know what I mean? That's what I always say. That's why I said to Josh don't like golf. Al Jordan loves golf because Al Jordan's a good day. But I say after football, I didn't realise in football.
What's your advice to Josh? How old's Josh now?
31.
So what's your advice to him?
Listen, the one thing about it is...
What's he took on board?
He's very intelligent. He's
intelligent in what way?
He's protected his money.
Right.
He's bought properties.
Yeah.
He's always been teetotal, so he's not spunked his on drink.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if he watches this, in my daughter-in-law, he's just got married.
Right.
Do you know?
Yeah.
How many percentages of us go through a divorce?
Yeah.
You know, we had a
90%.
We had a guest. We had
90%. Is it?
We had Carlton Palmer on our podcast, and I think every footballer I've spoke to, i.e. yourself, Carlton Palmer, everybody's been divorced as a footballer. Do you know? And I said, didn't I, to Carlton, I'm glad I ain't got a daughter, because I'd say don't marry a fucking footballer.
Yeah.
Do you know? So my advice
there's a book, Dino, called Retired, and that gives you the stats of a footballer,
right,
of a retired footballer. It's fucking frightening.
Yeah. And I always said
within the first 5 years, you're either retired or bankrupt.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've been bankrupt. I've done it. I went into that film industry.
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Yeah, done me
fucking
as well.
Killed me.
Yeah.
That killed my marriage. That.
Yeah.
Not killed my marriage because of that.
No, but the thing is, Dino, as well, you're trusting somebody, and you
to invest money.
It about, somebody that you can trust, who's not so much in football, but just say,
yeah,
be a great idea to do that.
Yeah.
You should do that. It's great. It's tax free. This, that, the other.
And I was a small. I was a smaller, by the way. I put 150 grand in. And my tax bill was 164 grand.
You told me this Bex and that were included as well.
Oh, fucking Rio, David, I don't know how much you. Fucking Rio was 4 million, Wayne Rooney, Alex Ferguson was in it. Do you know what I mean? And you're thinking, that 150 grand tax free that I'm going to get when I retire is going to look after my family.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you get fucking stabbed in the back. And all of a sudden I get a brown envelope. And I've spoke to a lot of players.
That landing on your doorstep, you hear it land.
Oh, you hear it land?
Oh, you think,
fucking you what?
You know it's coming.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, how the fuck am I going to pay this? How am I going to pay it?
I didn't have the money.
Yeah.
Didn't have the money because I got divorced. I lost a few quid out the divorce. And then all of a sudden...
Changes your character.
And I said to Kerry, because the partner I'm with now is unbelievable in the sense of looking after me. But like, my wife looked after me, but she came out the film industry when we got divorced. I'm fucking glad she did.
Yeah.
Because she took she took the house off her.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have any assets after that, which I was delighted because I rented. Because I couldn't afford to get a mortgage. So people look at you that way. And how many footballers like us have been divorced? How many footballers have gone to fucking drink? Do you know what I mean?
There's no good advice is there after football that I feel like there should be.
But there should be going around.
There should be
a mentor
just
somewhere.
Somebody going round.
An ex-player should go around to Aki Stanley, Salford,
Just doing
what are you
talks.
doing with your money?
Yeah.
Are you married? You got a kid? Because you live. Do you know what you do? You live to your means.
Of course you do.
If you're on £2,000 a week, you're going to
You'll
get a
spend
fucking.
£2,000,
You're going to get a nice house, aren't you? Because you're Billy, as somebody used to say, Billy Big
bollocks.
Big bollocks. You know what I mean? Oh, I've got a BMW. I can't drive in that fucking car park in a Mini. So I'll go pay £400 a month, which I can't really afford.
But it looks good.
Exactly. So we all have egos.
Yeah.
We all certainly have egos. Do you know what I mean? And people don't know how much you earn. People don't know how much you got. But because you're a professional footballer, you're fucking minty.
And I think that ties into what I want to ask you now. Is like people do put that label on you, thinking you're minted and everything will take care of itself. Whether it be aftercare, football, or retirement, and now talking, we're getting to the dementia part and the PFA, what they're doing. Obviously, we know Dean's story, and we know you. And let's just get something clear here, because so people get this message mixed up. Right? Is before you even mentioned Dean, Dean, you approved of obviously saying to Maisie, yep, happy for you to say my name. So let's just get that clear. Because
he wouldn't have done otherwise.
Exactly. No. And what makes me laugh, it's pathetic for fucking people to think that you would have done that.
But it upset me that fucking David's getting slaughtered for it.
But yeah, and I spoke
when I sanctioned it, I went, go do it, go say it.
What I respect about you is that when we spoke and your voice noted me, you felt fucking cut for actually bringing out the news. But I said to you, and like I said on your pod, and people can watch your episode, Dean, is I said, honestly, being part of your career, and we call it manager, but I don't see it as that. You know how I see it. Like, I see it as helping out, whatever. Like, because I'm passionate about you and whatever. But it's probably the best thing right now. Everything's chapters. We spoke about football, what's your next, purpose, etc.
Yeah.
I, hand on heart, believe, and I know your involvement with it, and we'll get into it in a moment, but I believe, hand on heart, Dean's next purpose is to be that in a positive light of shining the light on a different way of how people look at dementia and Alzheimer's.
100%.
Because
100%.
when we discussed this last week, I said, I don't think anything's going to change immediately from the PFA in getting a pot of gold and money and saying, okay, yeah, we're listening to you, there you go, right? But what I think can change is, I best believe, especially with putting this foot forward, and I want to get involved in this too, is doing what we can to allow current footballers, or even just retired footballers, to just put their hand in the air and say, do you know what, I'm happy to get checked over. But the reason why I say that is this, because I know, and I'm sure this would happen, and you agreed on it, if you lined up a fucking 100 of each league, I'm talking League 2, 1, Championship, Premier League now, I guarantee you, more than likely, at least half of those will have some kind of shade or whatever on dementia. Yeah. Which will then open up the question now to actually say, wait a minute, need to do something about this. Mm-hmm. And so where does your drive and ambition come from pushing this narrative?
To get justice for the families. When I spoke to John Stiles, John's the son of Nobby Stiles, World Cup winner, Manchester United legend, European Cup winner, died of dementia, or died of CTE. Everyone thought it was dementia and Alzheimer's and that. It was CTE that he died of. And you only get that from heading footballs or blows to the head. Obviously, that would be heading the ball. So when I spoke to John about it, and he said, you know, the PFA keep letting us down, and I thought, well, that's my union. That's who I joined as a 16-year-old. They should be looking after the ex-players. And when I spoke to Dino about it, and he said that he's at just coming into stage 2, early stage 2, I thought to myself, fuck, where am I then? Because if he's at it, maybe, fingers crossed, it skips me. But all I can think to myself, and I don't want to have that scan.
You don't want to know, do you?
I don't want to know. I don't, because I don't know. You can shit scared of the future, aren't you?
But then at the same time, and this is what I just say, sorry, is that is, and me and Dean discussed this in depth. I believe by you doing it, and I'm not trying to tell you, you're a man of humour, I'm just giving an opinion here. I believe by you doing it only gives you even more, I'd say, not passion, but more
drive.
Yeah,
I get what
drive
you're saying.
To understand, because
to get
is it not the question of, is it worse or the not knowing rather than actually find out it could be annoying anyway as much as this? Because what really changes? Because like I said with Dean, is as much as Dean's now found out, nothing has changed in regards to how he still operates day to day.
Yeah.
And his mindset still. Now it might in 5-10 years we might have a different conversation, right? Yeah. But if anything, it's all about today, right?
I'd rather worry about something later on, not knowing that I have to worry about it now.
But why is that?
Because I'm fucking shit scared for it.
You see, I said to you, and I says to Maisie, is that I declined when Stylesy asked me to go.
Yeah.
I went, no, and I knew, I'd never ever mention yours. I know a few people who've been in it and they've got the same as me, or probably stronger than me. I wish, and I said on my podcast, on my was on here, wasn't it? I went, I wish I wouldn't have gone in it.
Yeah.
Because now I'm overthinking it now. So you're saying, if I
don't
know...
Do you know what, Dino? And I'm telling you the 100% truth here. I didn't sleep. Well, after I was on TV and I did what we did, and then we did that, you know, Justice for Families.
Yeah.
I could not fucking sleep. Because all I could think about is, I don't want to be in that position. And talk about playing on your mind, and you know, you're going into studio to speak on TV and mention you and mention the effects of what it's having on people's lives. I don't want my family to have. I'd rather fucking shoot myself, to be truthful.
Yeah.
Or to top myself.
Yeah.
And not have my family go through all that, having to look after me in later life when they don't even know who I am. Oh, sorry, I don't know who they are.
Who you are, yeah.
You know, I could meet you two in 10 years' time, and I'd be like, we did a podcast together.
You could at the same time, but David, you could also find out and then even push the narrative to allow people who have had those same thoughts to help them in the knowing of what you're going through. So there's always another side to it, isn't there?
I get that. I totally get what you're saying. I just don't want. Dino talks about, you know, his family finding out through me, and the worry that they have. I don't want to put that worry on my kids. I'd rather them just see dad as dad right now.
And that's the only reason why I never came out a year ago, because it was mild. And then obviously when I found out how it affects, because I know I play for Bradford Legends for Alan Gilliver and Christine's husband, who was old groundsman, who's now, he doesn't recognise anybody. And you'll tell me more than anything else. How much is it now, Dave?
It's about £1,400 a week to house somebody.
And then I thought, yeah, when I found out that it's costing that many, that much money for people to get looked after. And then when Maisie said, Dean, you don't mind if I mentioned
Probably about, about 60 grand a year.
60 grand a year.
For one
So
person.
it's like,
Yeah.
so then when I got the results of just a mile thing, I thought, well, yeah, it did scare me. Of course it scared me. Because I wish they'd gone on that Zoom call and said, yeah, there's fuck all up with you, Dean. But when they turned around and said, yes, we found something, and then when Maisie said, can I mention your name? We as friends, we didn't know how fucking big it'd go, did we? No. I didn't know when I put my phone on.
And do you know what pisses me off even more now? How long ago was that, Dino?
Month ago?
4 weeks, yeah. About
4
a month ago.
week?
Yeah.
It'd be 4 week Friday, I think.
4 week Friday, yeah.
And we're on the 6th of
Still
Feb now.
nothing's been yet.
The PFA still haven't. They've got in touch with me.
Text me.
Text message, yeah. Text message you.
Yeah.
Text message Graham Souness, because we've all been in the press recently.
Yeah.
And it's all the same text message. If you have a worry, get in touch with us.
Right.
What the fuck's
But
that
how
all
long's
about?
that going to go on for that text message you're saying if you've got to worry? We talked about all off
So
camera.
if David May comes, if David
So
May
if
goes
you-
in that
Paul, if
scan
you-
machine then,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
his comes out, he'll get the same fucking
Yeah,
text.
exactly. And this is the thing. We all discussed it off camera. Look, we're not ones to make final decisions, but I even said to you both, I said if you, and I'm saying from a football fan perspective, I'm sure many football fans will watch this, you guys put your life for our entertainment. It's the biggest sport in the world,
Yeah.
right? And it's people's lives, believe it or not, as a fan perspective.
Yeah.
On a Saturday, it's all you talk about is football.
Yeah.
Now, if we discussed how many teams and how many players from League Two all up to Premier League, just in UK alone, England alone, how many players they are? There's fucking hundreds of thousands, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
If you took 1% of each player's wage, just 1%, that's it, just 1%,
Yeah.
and they were told it's going in the pot that's going to help X, Y, and Z,
Mm-hmm.
you two are best to say it. I'm sure players would probably go ahead and put that 1% in, right? In a pot.
Without
Or
showing.
at least the majority.
I think they would.
Yeah.
I do.
And we're not saying, and this is the thing, so I want to get this message really clear here. I want people to really look into this from a fan perspective. I really want to push it. That's why I'm looking down the lens. Is as a football fan as well, best team in the world, Bradford City, by the way, is as a football fan, seriously, is if 1% of every player went as a salary into a pot from whether the PFA agreed or not, but if it went into some kind of foundation and a player agreed from each club, that's still not going to change their
No.
lives of what they can get with the cars. If anything, it's going to change the lives of their current professionals.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you, more than likely, they've played with many more than 1, 2, 3 players in their lives who they've got close to who potentially could have that disease.
That's what I'm saying. That 1%, he might get it in 10 years' time. He might actually go in the
Exactly.
scan machine and go.
I think that's
Exactly.
the hardest thing for people to see is be going, well, and obviously the amount of foreigners in the game as well. You know, would a Spanish player want to give 1% to this? Would a Portuguese player want to give 1% to this? Because it's 5 years' time, they'll be out of the country anyway. They'll be back home.
But what's hard asking a question? This is what I don't get.
No,
it's
I
not
get
hard
that.
to get. I'm not saying, I'm sure you're not saying.
But John Stiles has wrote to all 92 league clubs and asked for him to go in to talk about CTE. Every single club
I want
blanked
to
him.
know. Yeah.
How can that be?
Yeah.
It's the biggest game in the world.
To protect your assets, which is your players.
Last year, I think it was, it's 480 million. 480 million went to agents fees.
Wow.
400, half a billion quid is going out of the game every year for agents fees.
For entertainment rather than wealth, mate, and to fill people's pockets, to get bigger houses, bigger cars, and flashier. And this is the thing. And then we and then we look at people like Dean and others, and we look at them as legends and you know, idols.
Yeah.
And yet nothing's being done to protect.
No.
And this is what pisses me off as well, because we're all quick to fucking back celebrities on their brands and all these other things.
Yeah.
It goes back to like smaller businesses, we don't bother. It's the same in this regard. It's like we're all happy to pay the money as a ticket for entertainment, but then we'll keep the money that you're all paying us for our business, rather than the assets within the business that are making us to be able to scale this and get it to a position
There's
where it's
that much
entertainment.
money in football now. The PFA get 27 million a year off the Premier League. And as I said, it's probably 60 grand a year to look after somebody.
Fucking joke, innit? Tell me what you told me last week.
When you've got the, I think it's the chairman, the CEO of
Oh, he's going to answer my question.
of the PFA, who's now on 600 grand a year wages. There'll be a couple of more people there who'll be on 150, 100 grand a year.
What was that
So
story you said to me where
there's £1 million.
somebody give themselves a pay rise because of what? Tell me what you told me on the phone. Cost of living.
Cost of living.
He gave himself a 250 grand pay rise because he
Give himself 30% pay rise.
30% pay rise because of the cost of living. And these people can't help fucking Alan Gilliver or Christine Gilliver, his wife, 1,300 quid a fucking week to look after Gilly.
If players were aware of what's going on, and you just ask one question, this is what fucking does made him with so-called gatekeepers on a salary to pay their own wage.
Paul, we've been out when we did that launch for the Football Families for Justice 4 weeks ago. It's been on Sky News, Sky Sports, ITV, BBC, all the main streams across.
And every papers.
All the papers. Still, the PFA haven't come out, gone to a newspaper, tried to speak to somebody, tried to send the letters out to all PFA members, and they'll say, oh, you know, logistically you can't do that. Everybody's paid into a PFA pension. We're all members. We'll all find addresses, and if you can't find an address, Maisie can't get Dino's address. What is it? There you go, there's the address. Whatever. To get people in, the ex-players, there's 55,000 ex-players. So if you do 55,000 players, 30% of them are likely to get CTE. That's 17,000 players, ex-players. And the PFA are doing nothing about it. It's disgusting.
And this is why I'm a big believer in everything in life is if you keep tapping on a wall, eventually it's going to make a hole.
Yeah.
So I feel like the more that I keep pushing this message up, people might get bored of it. I'm coming from a football fan perspective and being close to you and hearing your message. It's just a fucking question of asking a player, would you be willing to put 1% of your monthly wage into a pot that just da-da-da-da?
I know Juan Mata did it when he was at United. He asked, I don't know the full story or history of what he was doing, but his was for charity as well. But I agree. But someone's got to send that letter out. Do the players get it? Would they throw it in the bin? If the PFA did something, listen lads, we're going to do this across the board, through Scotland as well, Ireland, Wales, everyone across the board. We're asking you, you don't have to do it, but we'd like 1% of your wage to go for future.
And look, I'm not going to give too much away, but just know since I've come aboard with you, you know this. When I come to passion, I'm passionate. And we've had a good meeting last week regarding a big production team, I'm not going to say who, big TV, national TV, interested in putting this together as a documentary out there. Yeah. And I'm hoping things like that, if we can do that and push that fucking message, is going to help. So to football fans, if you do watch this, I'll be the fucking ringleader. You can fucking shoot me down all you want. Is get on the backs of the PFA and looking at things like this to push that message. I promise you now, because these are our heroes. I'm speaking from a football fan perspective, and all I'm saying is the simplest thing I see, I might be totally wrong, is the 1%. Call it 1% club. Call it the 1% club. If you want to opt into the 1% club, you can do so. If you don't want to, they don't have to do so. It's all the fucking question is, right? Look, we're wrapping this up and moving.
I'll tell you what, be a real good idea. Sorry about that, Paul. I mentioned it to Dino. I mentioned it to you while I was off camera and stuff. Alex Stepney came up with a great concept that the outlay would be quite a few quid. But if you would have some houses or some stately home that would house 20, 30 people, 15, 20 people, whatever it is, one in the northeast to cover them, all the lads up there, one in the northwest, one in Yorkshire, one in Birmingham, one down south. They could be the care homes for the ex-players, and with that little 1% or more funding from the PFA, which is where I think it should come from as well, I could be sat alongside Dino in 15, 20 years watching football. Yeah. Because your mind still remembers it.
Remembers the past,
You've got good care homes, you've got people that, I just think it's something that could and should be done. Yeah. Because, as I've said earlier on, I don't want my kids wiping my ass when I'm 60
Not in a million years.
Not in a million years. I'd rather be somewhere
Yeah,
else.
and from a child's perspective, I mean, my dad had a brain infection. I won't go too much into it now as a wrap up, but I've been in that position where I had my dad's ass, and luckily, touch wood, he came out the other side. But it's not nice, mate.
No.
You know, my dad's my hero. He's my best mate. He's my fucking life. The only man I look up to is my heart. And in that moment, I was fucking gone. Do you know what I mean? And
but
you don't want to be.
If in 20 years' time we've had this conversation, you wouldn't have a clue.
Exactly.
You wouldn't have a clue that your daughter's wiping your ass.
No.
And you know what? Then our kids.
And all the money that's in football now, millions of. It's a wash with millions. Billions.
But do you know what is amazing? You know what? Like when it all came out, and that's fine by me now. I'm comfortable with it, and I'm all right. Obviously, touch wood, I'm all right for the next 10, 15 years.
Because we're shining a positive light.
Yeah, of course. But the one thing about it is, if this doesn't happen and they don't fucking listen to us, do you know what? It's not going to affect us financially.
No.
Because we won't have a clue what's going on.
No.
It's going to affect our kids and my wife.
Yeah.
Or, or Kerry or whatever.
Yeah.
They're going to have to pay for me to go into a fucking home.
But even
because
mentally,
we won't have a clue.
No.
Yeah, but even mentally and just financially, this is the thing. This is why I'm passionate about it. It's like,
Yeah, but we're not begging for fucking money, are we? Do you know what I mean? We're begging for our families to look after us if it happens to me or happens to David or happens to you.
It's a domino effect, mate. I'm
It's
guaranteeing.
not just sports people, it's fucking life.
Half a billion quid goes on agents' fees.
Unbelievable.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
So look, like
Just
I
take
said,
10% of that.
yeah, like I
You
said,
can buy all the houses that you need.
Yeah.
All the little hotels for them.
Yeah.
And you can fund it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
watching this, get on the PFA. I promise you, fucking tweet
Get
them,
on
do
to
whatever
them.
you've got to do.
100%.
Hassle them. It's the only way we can actually get that
It's
message
disgusting.
across. I work in business and I work with big businesses, right? These are obviously different echelon levels, PFA. People wear a lot of suits, and a lot of suit workers, all I care about is this. And I'll fucking say, these don't need to say, because I work in that world of work with people who have money. Get on these people, right? Lad with 3 fucking GCSEs to wear for himself. Get off your back. Fucking get that fucking message out there and do it.
I get my suits from Matt Darcy. I'll just mention that to you, man.
Look, wrapping this up.
Right,
Wrapping this up, Maisie. Quick fire questions.
As we finish off, Maisie.
You want to ask the first one, Dino? What we ask everyone?
If you went on I'm a Celebrity
For fuck's sake.
and you got to the final,
Yeah.
the final 3,
Yeah.
and bear in mind you've been starved to death for 8 weeks.
You've had camel fucking
You've
toe,
had everything.
bollocks.
And this and that. Obviously, you've watched the show. Your starter, your main, your pudding, and your drink. What would it be?
Well, like a death row thing.
No, so you sat.
Similar to Death Row.
Yeah,
It's like
Death
a
Row,
death row.
Yeah.
But so we're saying
meal
you
you
3
can have,
now,
last meal you
and
can
they go to
Oh,
you,
no.
Ant and Deco, whoever's does it, and they go, right, what you've got to the final, right, and you've got what's your starter, what's your main, what's your pudding, and what would you swill it off with?
And you want eating for weeks.
And you
so
want
you can
eating
choose
for
anything.
weeks.
Oh,
So what's your favourite starter?
Star be garlic king prawns.
Nice,
Yeah,
mate. That
I
would be
like
mine.
that. I like
Mine would be
that.
garlic
Garlic,
and prawns.
yeah.
I went prawn cocktail.
I'd have gone garlic and prawns.
Similar,
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm a garlic and prawn man.
Yeah.
Main.
Fucking hell. Do you know what? I love a Sunday roast with Yorkshire puddings.
Oh wow, that's not been said yet.
With gravy.
Steak,
Fucking
mate.
Loads
Yeah.
of gravy. No, not steak. Beef and
Beef.
oh,
Yeah, I went for steak and chips.
roast potatoes.
Yeah, mint sauce.
No.
No, you're not mint sauce, man.
No, just one of those large,
Massive
The biggest
Yorkshire.
one.
massive Yorkshire puddings.
Big
Just
Yorkshire.
The big
fucking
Yorkshire.
stick
Loads
it
of
all
gravy.
in. Loads of gravy, loads of greens. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Pudding.
Pudding. Pudding. Not really
You're not a sweet person, but if you did,
If I did,
well, you're in the jungle, so you haven't had a fucking sweet for fucking ages. So you're
apple
gonna have
crumble and custard,
Apple
or rhubarb
crumble.
and custard.
Yeah, okay.
With custard, yeah, and then Guinness.
Swill it down with.
Pint of Guinness.
Oh, okay.
Nice, mate. Nice.
Unbelievable.
Pick your ultimate 5-a-side team, mate. Quickly. Have anyone you played with?
Who you played with? You got a defender, midfield player, and a centre forward.
Do I have a goalie?
Yeah,
Yes.
5. So 5.
Alright.
Your spine, basically.
But
Right.
not you're not in it.
Right, Schmeichel.
Nice.
Schmeichel, defender, Yip Yap,
Yep, Sab.
Scholesy,
Yeah. That's 3.
Scholesy, Eric,
4.
and Scholesy, Eric, Coley.
Nice. Not a bad 5-a-side, that is it.
That'd have beat my fucking
I'd have been
five-a-side
mine.
team.
I'd have had. Mine would have been City, Bradford. So I'd have had you. I'd have had Beegs.
Who's in goal?
I'd have Blakey. I'd have Gary Walsh.
Walsh in goal.
And at back, I'd have between. I were a big fan of Weathers. I'd have between Weathers or I liked Bruno, man.
I didn't play with
Darren.
him. Oh, Big Moro.
Big Moro.
Yeah.
Right, what's a guilty pleasure TV show you secretly love?
Phoenix Nights.
Phoenix Nights, brilliant.
It's good. Yeah, but that's fucking you when you're on the night out, yo.
Phoenix Nights, Max and Paddy, all day long.
They're the pubs that we like to drink in.
Yeah, Phoenix Nights.
Different class, Mersey, absolutely different class.
What would you say is your go-to karaoke song?
Yeah.
Oh, there's loads. There's a few there.
Go on, give us one. Your favourite. Choose one.
Forever in Blue Jeans.
Right, give us a rendition.
Give us a rendition.
Fuck off.
We'll get him smashed. He'll give us one.
Yeah, we'll get you a few parts together.
Final question, Maisie. First of all, I want to say before I ask this question, we ask everyone else, is you've been awesome, mate. You've been really, really good. I feel like we've got to the root of who David is, rather than what other people might see with the Champions League.
Just a normal lad from Manchester.
Yeah, mate, and you've done fucking great. And you've definitely embodied this greatness, Sonny Dean. Look, final question we ask everyone, for our listeners, for our viewers, final message for anyone watching. What would you say, and what advice would you give to people to find their own inner greatness?
To never accept defeat, and if you want it, go and get it.
David Mayer, pleasure, mate.
Pleasure,
mate.
Absolutely legend.
Brilliant.
Cheers, pal. Thank you.
That's a wrap.
Well done, top.
Absolutely brilliant, David.
Yo.